Hello everyone, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back on our video here today, and we are doing NFL Week 15 predictions. I do not have leaderboard and not have anybody else's predictions up, so we are just going to go purely off of mine because, again, you know what? It's just one of those weeks. You know, it's again, every week is one of those weeks, man. You know, what can I say? Either way, going to give you my takes for the NFL predictions for Week 15. As we head into playoff season, a lot of these teams need wins, a lot of these teams need to stay alive, and let's kind of talk about them. Los Angeles Rams at the 49ers. Holy fuck, it scared the shit out of me. I don't know if y'all heard that or anything, but the dryer just screamed at me. So that was cool. The Los Angeles Rams 49ers, with complete transparency, I am recording this after the game. I did submit my picks, and I did choose the San Francisco 49ers. I did take an L there. Literally everybody else chose the Rams. Apparently, I was the only one who had the confidence in the 49ers. And, well, the 49ers in a rainy day, even with Isaac Grendo back, it didn't fucking work. So I took a loss there, but I did choose the 49ers. I am choosing the Cincinnati Bengals against Tennessee Titans here. Not going to go against the spread there. I am really tempted to take the Browns here. I need to stop betting against the Chiefs because I've done it for the last 2 weeks and it's really fucked me. But man, is it not tempting to take the Cleveland Browns? I mean, Jameis Winston beating Patrick Mahomes is just storybook. And you know what? I'm going to lock it in for now. If I don't take a lot of upsets, I'm taking this as an upset. Just because I'm going to bet against Chiefs at principle at this point. It's maybe stubborn, maybe so. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns. Let's actually talk about some reasonings here. So, of course, 49ers, my reasoning was I think the run game was better against they have a better O-line even without Trent Williams than the Rams, and their defense is better. That's the reason I chose them. Bengals, high-scoring offense. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. Tennessee is Tennessee. There's not really much to say there. Cleveland, there is a chance they can actually win against Kansas City because I think Cleveland is actually one of those sneaky teams that has a lot of losses, but actually can sneaky compete with a lot of these teams. Their defense has been performing better and better. Their Jameis Winston obviously has capabilities to throw for a bunch of yards in games. Kansas City secondary is not scary at all. The defensive line puts a little bit of pressure on Jameis Winston, and especially with the run game being weak for the Cleveland Browns, that's where the Chiefs can kind of beat them, is maybe with Isaiah Pacheco kind of coming back, Patrick Mahomes being scrambly. That's where I probably can see the Kansas City Chiefs still winning here. I'm going to take Cleveland, though, because I do think they have the capability of doing a shootout game. I think Jameis Winston's bound for a win. I think the defense can hold up. I think the Chiefs are going to fall into a trap game, and I think eventually these trap games are going to fall to them, or they're going to fall against the trap games, and I think the Kansas City Chiefs are walking away with a second loss. Washington Commanders, New Orleans Saints. I am going to take the Washington Commanders. I mean, they are just a different breed against bad teams. Against good teams, they can compete, but they just haven't won against good teams yet, which is fine. That's not a bad thing at all. They beat bad teams. New Orleans is a bad team. Washington goes up here. New Orleans Saints, especially if Derek Carr is out, this is not an operation I really want to get behind at all anymore. Dallas against Carolina. This one's interesting. Carolina's actually favored here. I'm taking Dallas. I get it. Trust me, I do. Both teams have been on the up and up, though. And here's my mindset with that. Dallas Cowboys have a good defense. They do. They do have a solid defense. Carolina doesn't at all. They sometimes play well, but other times they don't. Carolina's offense has been very much back in the groove of things. Adam Thielen has been a great weapon for Bryce Young to get back in the groove. Bryce Young has competed well, very well. Cooper Rush, though, is the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. 100%. Right now, of course, until Dak Prescott comes back. Cooper Rush has actually not been playing bad. He's been playing maybe a little bit worse than Bryce Young. But something sneaky I don't think people are thinking about is Chuba Hubbard versus Rico Dowdle. Both these guys have been very similar stories. Chuba's probably played better than Rico throughout the season. But I think Rico has been sneaky good for this team. And against a bad Carolina defense, I think Rico can kind of eat here. So I'm going to take Dallas here in Carolina. I think it's one of those games where I think everybody's giving props to Carolina and Dallas comes in for the victory. I just think whenever you count Dallas out, I think Dallas comes in for a win. Take that as you will. New York against Jacksonville. Holy crap. You talk about betting against the Jets, betting against the Chiefs. I'm betting for the Jets every single week, it feels like. And they just somehow find another way to lose. Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost Trevor Lawrence. He's gone for the season. Holy fucking Lord. If the New York Jets can't pull out this win, I don't know what else. Maybe they throw at this point. I'm not too sure. It's just so bad. Even with their run game weaker now without Breece Hall for at least a week or two. It's gotta be the Jets, man. It's gotta be. The Baltimore Ravens minus 16. That's an aggressive spread. I mean, I don't necessarily hate it. I would not even touch this game with a 10-foot pole. I'm taking Baltimore minus 16. Not -16. I'm taking Baltimore straight up. New York Giants winning this game would be a miracle. They'll put up some points, I think. I think -16 actually is a better line than maybe I'm giving it credit for. It's just an aggressive line, all right? So, especially in New York, I mean, I guess it makes sense. But I'm taking Baltimore. I'm not going to question that one too much. Miami versus Houston. I'm taking Miami, dude. In Houston, Miami's been playing so fucking good. Now, what scares me here, CJ Stroud, okay, I'm not worried about CJ Stroud. He's been playing fine football, but he hasn't been playing spectacular. Joe Mixon's been good, but I think the defense for the Dolphins has been playing pretty damn well against the run. It's going to be the defense for the Texans that wins or loses this game, and more specifically the secondary. Can they get around the Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill split? And not only that, can they get around the Jonnu Smith and Devon Achane layer that has been added here? I think the Dolphins can actually pick up a win and keep their playoff hopes alive against the Houston Texans. I don't think that the Houston Texans are just an unbeatable team anymore. And honestly, I think with this loss could bring them down quite a bit in my thoughts for power rankings. I still think they're a very functional team. I think they're having a little bit of a dip in production lately, and just got to figure out some other things, get some extra talent on board this next season. I think the Houston Texans will be back in form. But right now, the Miami in warm weather is a scary team to operate against. I'm taking Miami. Denver Broncos against the Colts. This one's a purely biased pick, but I do genuinely think the Denver Broncos are just a better team. Anthony Richardson does not scare me at all. I mean, here's the real breakdown for this. The defense for the Broncos is genuinely better than the Colts by a decent margin. The quarterback play from both Anthony Richardson against Bo Nix. Anthony Richardson has put up maybe 2 good games, and you can maybe argue those 2 good games came from Alec Pierce long, throws. Basically, he's played okay lately against the Denver Broncos defense, which I think could compete very well against a scrambling quarterback. Granted, we didn't see that from Lamar Jackson or against Lamar Jackson, so it could be something that we, maybe I'm wrong about. I'm taking the Denver Broncos still. I think across the board, they're a better team. I think both these teams need this, and I think this could be a damn good game. It could be one of those sneaky games where it's not necessarily high scoring, but it's like a 17-21 type game where both teams are just going back and forth, bits and pieces here. Some get crucial stops. Maybe it comes down to field goals. Honestly, I could see that. But I see the Denver Broncos scoring a couple more touchdowns than the Colts, while the Colts will probably rely on field goals mostly. So, I don't know. That's kind of the feeling there. It's in Mile High. I mean, take that as you will. I'm giving this to Denver Broncos. Not just because I'm biased, but also because there is a logic behind it. New England against Arizona. I'm taking Arizona. Arizona's been very, very cold lately. New England honestly could very well win this. And if I don't choose one more upset, I may come back to New England here. Because this is just a weird game. I know that the Arizona Cardinals are -6 here. Feels a little bit aggressive. I would definitely take the +6 from the New England Patriots. Just because the New England Patriots haven't been playing bad, it's just their offense is just so bad sometimes. I think Ramondre has a decent chance of coming back and kind of being relevant in this game. I think Drake May has played well against bad defenses. I think he can still put up a touchdown or 2. Arizona, though, is a scary offense against a decent defense of the Patriots. It's nothing to kind of cry about there. Could be a lower scoring game, though, which kind of scares me. If it's a lower scoring game, Patriots kind of win this. If Arizona can put up 21, I think they probably take it. But, man, it's going to be an interesting game. All right, I'll take Arizona for now. But if I don't see any other games, like upset-wise, that I feel good about, then I'll probably take Arizona. Or take New England. But for now, I'm rocking in Arizona. Tampa Bay, Los Angeles. I'm going to take Los Angeles. As much as I love Tampa Bay, I think they're still one of those teams that's like fringe contenders that just doesn't have all the pieces to put together for a playoff run. I think they possibly could make the playoffs, especially with the rest of their division sucking. But against good teams like the Chargers are genuinely a great team. I do like the Chargers. They're in my division. I don't like them for that reason. But if there's another team I got to root for in my division to beat any other team, it's going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. They're great. Justin Herbert is playing pretty all right. Ladd McConkey, if he's healthy, will do all right. Defense for the Chargers has been playing pretty damn good ball. I don't think they're elite, but I definitely think they are compatible, especially against the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers, but this could be a decent scoring game, so I like it. Pittsburgh versus Philly, dude, and Buffalo versus Detroit. These are some games, dude. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be an interesting set of games to predict. I'm going to tell you right now. By the way, I'm keeping the Cardinals. I just realized that because I am taking one of these upsets for sure against either the Pittsburgh Steelers in Philadelphia and Buffalo versus Detroit. These are 2 potential Super Bowl games, and I'm saying this genuinely because I mean, Pittsburgh or Buffalo are pretty much the best chances to win against Chiefs in the playoffs. Honestly, I would love to see a Pittsburgh Steelers versus Kansas City Chiefs game and Pittsburgh wins. That would be so hilarious. Honestly, I would love them to get the 1 seed. But I do not think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this game. I do think Philly's going to take it. -5.5 is really aggressive. But, I mean, across the board, I think the only thing the Pittsburgh Steelers could come away with is their defense shutting down Saquon. If they can do that, I'm kind of interested to see if Jalen Hurts actually forced to throw. He hasn't been forced to throw many games this season, and even when he was forced to throw, it wasn't like a spectacular play by him. So if Pittsburgh's able to, reduce Saquon's ability, I think they could win. Now, why I'm going to still go Philadelphia is, for one, I think it's unlikely they shut down Saquon for the entire game. Two, I still think even if Jalen Hurts is forced to throw, worst case, he probably throws one pick. He has A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith there. Easily can kind of beat the Pittsburgh defense in that regard, if needed. And then I think the defense for the Eagles is maybe not as good as the Steelers, but I think it's good enough to hold the Steelers to a low amount of points, possibly mostly field goals, while Philadelphia maybe every 3 drives gets a touchdown or something along those lines. While Pittsburgh, I think, can consistently get like maybe a field goal every 2 drives or so. I think that's what's going to come down to is just a meager amount of points. I don't like the over-under here, but I do like the spread. I would take plus 5.5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I will take Philadelphia straight up. Call me crazy, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills right here. I promise you this, though. If Buffalo and Detroit face off in the playoffs or face off in the Super Bowl, Detroit wins that game. I am taking Buffalo Bills in this sense, and I'll give you two good reasons why. There is a reason against it why I'm still hesitant, but I'll give you my 2 good reasons why. Detroit's defense is still in recovery mode, and I'm worried against a good offense like the Buffalo Bills, especially who are still very much hungry and are actively scrapping their way to the top. I think Buffalo is one of those teams that Detroit can't really do a lot of their trick plays on. They can't really get around the Buffalo defense as well. But okay, sorry. Number one, Detroit's defense is just weaker. Buffalo's going to be able to put up points. They have the great capabilities of doing that. What I am worried about though with Buffalo is beating the Detroit Lions secondary. They have been pretty locked down good in this game, and I think one of 2 things is going to happen. Either James Cook is going to have his random burst of energy, and he's going to come alive in the second half of the season, or the last 3/4 or last fourth, whatever, and he's going to make his one big game of the season. Or 2, Josh Allen's going to rely on his tight ends, Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. If Dalton Kincaid's healthy, I genuinely think Buffalo Bills have a very damn good shot of winning this game. Buffalo defense is also nothing to sneeze at either. The Detroit Lions have been playing really, really well on offense, obviously, but I think they've shown some weaker points lately. Not to say they are being weaker, they're not like weaker in that regard, but I think that we have seen a beatable aspect of them for the last couple weeks, and I think Buffalo can take advantage of that. The genuine point of why I'm kind of skeptical about picking the Bills is Josh Allen just came off the best quarterback play in the fantasy football history. Can he really do that again, or anything like that again? I don't know. That's a little bit sneaky there, and maybe betting at the Detroit Lions is pretty bad here, but I think Buffalo's got it. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills, and it'll make the race for the number 1 seed in the NFC a little bit more interesting. So give me Buffalo. Green Bay versus Seattle. Give me Green Bay. I'm not really going to question that one too much. Seattle puts up some points, but Green Bay has a good defense, and Jordan Love is pretty good. Josh Jacobs is pretty good. Across the board, pretty decently good stuff. Chicago Bears versus Minnesota. Taking Minnesota here. Sam Darnold's really good. Even if he doesn't put up the 5 touchdowns he did last week, he'll put up 3, and Aaron Jones will probably get 1. He'll get up around 28 points. I don't know, something like that. 2 to 3 touchdowns from Sam Darnold. Touchdown from Aaron Jones. Chicago will put up maybe a touchdown, a couple field goals, and make this like a 28-16 game. Take the Vikings here. Falcons, Raiders. Is it bad I want to choose the Raiders here? I'm choosing the Falcons. I really want to choose the Raiders, though. This feels like a sneaky game. The Raiders come out and win. And I'm actually just looking at it like, wow, do I pick it? No, I'm not going to pick them just because I think the Falcons need this game too much, and I think the Raiders just don't care at this point. The defense for the Raiders is not scary besides Matt Crosby. The Raiders' offense is fine with Brock Bowers, but literally they're a one-trick pony with Brock Bowers or Michael Mayer. He's kind of getting alive now. And Jacoby Myers is pretty all right. So they're just a bunch of okays. I think Atlanta Falcons pulled this game together. It's probably going to be like a 14-10 game, something like that. It'll be boring. Falcons will find a way to screw it up, but then get recovered for last minute. But taking the Falcons here. To recap, I took the San Francisco 49ers. I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals. I am taking the Cleveland Browns. I am taking the Washington Commanders. I am taking the Dallas Cowboys. I am taking the New York Jets. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens. I am taking the Miami Dolphins, taking the Denver Broncos, taking the Arizona Cardinals, I'm still doubting that one a little bit, but I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals, taking the Los Angeles Chargers, taking the Philadelphia Eagles, taking the Buffalo Bills. Oh, man, this is going to be such a damn good game. Taking the Green Bay Packers, taking the Minnesota Vikings, and finally capping off with the Atlanta Falcons as the last team I pick. There you go, guys. Hope you did enjoy the video. I'll see y'all in the next one.